Here we go. Packet lesson 4-2, day 1, page 127. We're just going to start right off with it and say, let's go. So if you watched the pre-lesson, you saw my step 1, step 2, step 3, but I'm going to show it again. Number 1, make sure it's in descending order. Okay, I'll even put a box right there. Number 2, make sure your y squared is positive. And number 3, you're going to look at your constant for the proper factors. And then I guess the 4th step is you're going to build your 2 binomials. All right, so let's go down this little list and let's make little boxes. So is it in descending order? Yes. Y squared, y, no y. Check. Is my y squared term positive? Yes. Look at the constant. Okay, let's look at it. Well, what are you supposed to do with it? You're supposed to find the 2 factors that add up to 12. Well, I'm going to list 27 and 1, and then I'm going to go, I'll just really show you what I'm talking about here. Negative 27, negative 1, that's a possibility. 9 and 3, negative 9 and negative 3. Well, which one adds up to 12? This one. So we looked at it. Now we just got to build our binomial. And if this is y squared, that's telling me for my first 2 terms, just put a y there. And then just slide these over. So that's plus 9 and plus 3. If you're ever worried about whether you got it right or not, if you want to check it, you can FOIL it. FOIL to check your answer. But I know it's right. So we're just going to go on to the next one because we've got limited time. So here we go. I'm not writing this down every time, and I'm not checking the boxes every time. Is it descending? Yes. Is my highest degree term positive? Yes. Look at that constant. Don't you dare say that's a 3. It's a negative 3. So what are the 2 factors of negative 3? Well, negative 3 and 1, and 3 and negative 1. Which one adds up to positive 2? This one. So I can go right to my binomials and say, I almost put a C there, C and C plus 3 minus 1. Again, order doesn't matter, so somebody else could have that, no problem. All right, hopefully this is getting easy. Is this in descending order? Check. Is my squared term positive? Check. Look at my constant. It's a 6. I'm going to list them all. 6 and 1, 3 and 2. Negative 6, negative 1, negative 3, negative 2. Out of these 4 possibilities, which one adds up to negative 5? These 2. So I'm ready for my binomial. So that'd be x minus 3 and x minus 2, and I'm done. Again, FOIL if you want to check. Make sure you did it right. Okay, here comes a stinker. See, the first thing we have to do is make sure it's in descending order, and it's not. Negative x squared plus 5x plus 24. Now, this is going to bother some of you, but I need you guys to know something. 3x minus 2 equals 7. If I wanted to multiply this by a negative 1, I could. Negative 3x plus 2 equals negative 7. See, that's 100% okay. How come? Because it's an equation. See, this is not an equation, so I can't just multiply it by negative 1. That'd be like saying in first grade, hey, find the answer. Well, you know it's 5. But then if you multiply this by negative 1, you'd get negative 7 plus 2, and you'd get negative 5. You get the wrong answer. So no, you can't just multiply an expression by a negative 1 to get rid of that. The only thing you can do is factor it out. So I take a negative 1 out of that, I take a negative 1 out of that, and I take a negative 1 out of that. I know that's weird, but you got to get used to it. Again, if you're not trusting it completely, just distribute it and ask yourself, would I get the original thing back? And the answer is yes. So now I'm going to concentrate on just this. I'm totally ignoring this. I know it's coming along for the ride, but now I'm going to concentrate on that negative 24, and I'm going to list some until I figure out the one that adds up to negative 5. So negative 24 and 1, no. 24 and negative 1, no. 12 and negative 2, no. Negative 12 and positive 2, no. 8 and negative 3, ooh, I'm getting close. That's a positive 5. Negative 8 and 3, ding, 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 ding. See, if I added those together, I'd get negative 5, and that's what my target is. That's my goal. So now I know what to put in here. X minus 8 and x plus 3. And you have factored it. But remember, that negative is part of your answer. It didn't just disappear. All right, let's look at this one. This one's a little bit easier because look at it. It's in descending order. My squared term's positive. Now you just got to look at the constant, negative 4, and find two factors that add up to that little negative 1. So here they come, negative 4 and 1, 2 and negative 2. Those are the only things that will add up, or when multiplied, will give me negative 4. But if I add it, I get negative 3, and if I add this, I get 0. Guess what? In the pre-lesson, I used 27 as, let's find some factors, and we said 27, 1, 9, and 3. What if I would have said 19? The only thing we could have said is 19 and 1. In other words, this number is prime. That's a fancy word for saying that number's not factorable. And once in a while, you run into these trinomials. There does not exist any two factors of negative 4 that add up to negative 1. So this trinomial is prime. Last one. Now, this is not the only way to do it, but here's how I'm going to encourage you to do it. How is this one going to mess with you? Well, it's got multiple variables. So, I'm going to draw myself a little note over here, and I'm going to flag this problem and say, hey, I took the y's out, and so I'm going to go x squared minus 14x plus 13. See, the reason I'm writing this over to the side is so that I don't forget it towards the end. But we just simplified it a lot. Is this in descending order? Yes. Is my squared term positive? Yes. Look at the constant, which is 13. What two factors of 13 add up to negative 14? Seems like it might be prime, but then you think, oh, wait a minute, negative 13 and negative 1. So I found them. So there's my x, minus 13 minus 1. And I'm done. No, 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 no. We got to put our y's back in. Where? On the end. And it's that easy. The danger is you'll forget to put them back in. But it is a nice trick because then you can see what you're going after and the y's don't confuse you. And again, if you aren't sure, x times x is x squared. Multiply that way, you get negative xy. Multiply this way, you get negative 13xy. And then this times this would be plus 13y squared. And if you add these together and you look at the original, yep, they match. So what we did is okay to do. Is there anything on the back? No. You guys are ready to get to work.